Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let me show you how to make ChatGPT better by adding a personality. MacMost is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MacMost.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So if you use ChatGPT, you know that you get these kind of cheerful and perky responses. It has kind of a personality, but it may not be a personality that you enjoy seeing over and over again as you use the tool. But you can assign it another personality very easily. You can do that either when you're asking a question, or you could do that as your first question, your initial prompt, and then continue to have a conversation with ChatGPT, giving it a whole personality makeover. So for instance, if I were to ask a question like this, you can see the type of response I get. It's pretty typical. But let's start again. This time with an initial prompt like this. And there's nothing special about this wording. You can word it in a lot of different ways. I found this works pretty well. So you give it something to tailor the result. So for instance, you can do this. And now if we ask the same question, you'll see the answer is in a different style. And if you give it a voice, it sounds something like this.
The concept of strong and unique passwords is indeed a pertinent matter in today's digital landscape. Allow me to elucidate the reasons why such a practice is highly recommended.
Now we could change this and have it give a simpler answer. So it's not just going to be the style of the response, but the actual response itself that will change kind of to suit your needs based on the personality you've chosen. So let's do an elementary school teacher instead. So now the response sounds a little bit like this.
Oh, that's a great question, my young friend. Using strong and unique passwords is super important, and I'll tell you why. You see, when you create an account or a password for something like your email, social media, or online games, you want to make sure it's not easy for others to guess. If your password is too simple or common, it can be easier for bad people to figure it out and try to access your accounts without your permission. That's not something we want, right?
So you could phrase the initial prompt in many ways, like explain it to me like I'm a 5th grader or 5 years old or haven't used computers for very long. Now we can get more specific than that. We can actually name a person, either a real person or a fictional one, as long as there's enough material out there for ChatGPT to be able to simulate the personality. So let's do this and have Mark Twain be the personality. You can see here in the initial response that it's already using that personality. So now let's get the answer to our question. And let's hear what a sample would sound like here.
In this grand tapestry we call the digital realm, we find ourselves waltzing with a bevy of online accounts, each demanding its own secret handshake. Now, picture this. Imagine you, my friend, possess a single frail password, feeble as a kitten's whisker, that guards the entrance to all your virtual domains. A chink in your armor, as it were.
Now let's try a fictional character from, say, a TV show. And let's see how this answer is phrased. Let's hear some.
The utilization of strong and unique passwords is of paramount importance for several compelling reasons. Firstly, it enhances the security of your personal information and sensitive data. By employing passwords that are complex and difficult to guess, you create a formidable barrier against unauthorized access to your accounts or personal devices.
Now so far both of those voices have been pretty practical, and they're a little easier to deal with than maybe the regular perky voice until you get tired of them. So you might want to switch things up and maybe have some fun with it, like this. Let's get the response and let's hear some of it.
Furthermore, should you employ the same insipid password across multiple domains, you expose yourself to a cascade of chaos. Imagine a dominoes arrangement, each fall causing the next, leading to a tumultuous chain reaction of compromised accounts and shattered digital trust.
Or perhaps a character like this.
Forsooth, should you employ frail and commonplace passwords, akin to leaves in the wind, you invite peril upon yourself. Malicious marauders may seek to exploit your vulnerabilities, plundering your personal information, and compromising your digital sovereignty. But fear not, for with the power of strong and unique passwords, forged with a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols, you erect an impregnable bastion against their advances.
Here's another one, and you can go with Wednesday Addams too if you prefer that.
Remember, my precious one, in this age of interconnectedness, a single breach can send ripples of chaos through your entire digital existence. So, heed my words and create passwords that even the cleverest of minds would struggle to unravel.
And you notice that it really grabs the sense of humor from the characters. So my favorite one is a little more obscure, but those of you who know it might like this.
Secondly, employ unique passwords for each of your digital domains minimizes the damage inflicted by a single breach. You see, if one of your passwords is compromised, at least the rest of your pitiful existence online remains relatively unscathed.
And of course the sky's the limit. You can name any real person as long as they've written or there are transcripts of them saying enough. And you can use a fictional character as long as there's plenty of good material out there. You can use TV characters. You can use movie characters. All sorts of different things. If you want to have some fun, here are some other ideas that you can play with. So give it a try. Use one of these as the personality for ChatGPT for a while. At the very least, it kind of keeps things fresh and interesting. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.